This is your girl Steph the Great, and we are on 89.7 wgls. And this is the Rowan Radio Show, and I hope you guys continue to listen to our words.
Yeah, I got the water hose down, the coolest equipment down, because, Steph the Great just kind of laid some laws down on us, and, I started to see the smoke rising in this equipment. I just wanted to make sure we can continue our last segment of the show. Well, you said some powerful things. And what you said, what I heard you say is that there shall be no other gods before me. Y'all got that? And since family is a God institution, it should come before material things.
Exactly.
Woo! I have to tell you my story, quick. I have two daughters. At the time the second daughter was born, I had a national company, marketing company, and I was traveling around, making a lot of money. And when the second daughter was born, I decided that I wanted to be a dad. And I went from a lot of money to zero. I'm literally zero. Zero. I didn't think about it at all because I had that faith in God and I knew what things take care of. Never returned that amount of money. But what I did do was I became a dad. And I drove these two daughters 250,000 miles to expose them to everything that I possibly could expose them to. They weren't into material things. I just took them everywhere. And where I was working, I would do speeches and do workshops and things like that. I got them involved in that. The nonprofits I was volunteering, I got them involved in that. I taught them computers and everything like that. And as a result of that, the oldest daughter was doing animations at 3 years old. By 8 years old, she's writing novels. She ranked in the top 5% in the country in her tests in junior high and high school. We got a partial scholarship at the Pratt Institute. The youngest one became a professional photographer at 13. Now, they're in college. She's in her last year, the youngest one. And now I'm starting to ramp up to get back and get busy again. But I do not regret it because of what you just said. I knew God would take care of everything.
Right.
And we didn't miss a beat.
Always.
And the wife was home the whole time that I was doing my thing. She didn't have to work because I was making money.
Right.
So she went back to work, right? And in the process of going back to work, she went part-time at a daycare center making minimum wage to another company making a little more than minimum wage to working for a congressman now.
That's great. God opened doors all the time.
Boom. I love you. Because I'm telling you, that is real. And I was a dad, but I have high capacity, which means I could do 99 different things at one time. So while I was being dad and they were sleeping, I was working around the clock and I was still developing things. I didn't do a whole lot traveling as I used to do, but I did a lot of things. So in my worst economic times, financially speaking, I published 2 books, produced 7 music CDs, 2 music DVDs, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And nobody gave me money to do it. All this was done without a dime in my pocket. God is good.
All the time.
And I'm saying that because I feel what you just said was so profound that it needs to be backed up with some evidence. And I'm the evidence because what the wife did was phenomenal. You don't be a stay-at-home mom for your 12, 13 years and within 3 years work for a congressman. Right? Without a college degree, mind you. So I'm looking at you and I'm thinking to myself, not only do you have a good handle on what's needed now, but you understand. You're both of you are very powerful. You understand. And that understanding is something that we all need to have. How do you get it? I think it's a blessing. Because when you don't go to school and get it. I think it's a blessing. Talk about God now.
God is a forgiving God. That's all I can say. That's not all I can say, but that's what He's showing me, that He's very forgiving.
Steph.
God is the most amazing being I could ever know. Because I know I have a song that I think explains everything that I'm gonna sing it.
Sure, go for it.
I have some problems, Some great and some small. You being God delivered me from them all. Still can't believe all the ways you made. Your incredible God deserves incredible praise.
Absolutely incredible. That is what I call walking the walk. Seriously, because you have the gift, you have the understanding, you have the way to express it, and you just do it. I used to be given, and I'm like you, Cain Loso, because when stuff comes to me, I got to give God credit. But I used to run long distance, you know. Wasn't trained, I just did it martial arts and dance, you know. I would put these weights on my, you know, weight vest that had 20 pounds on my chest, and a pound and a half on my arms, and my wrist, ankle weights, and army gear, and I would run. I just run. No particular reason. I just wanted to run. But I would hear this, do it, be done, and keep doing. And that's all I would remember, just do it. And then as I matured, I realized that was my conditioning. I had to endure. But I had to endure this. You know, I had to know my capacity, and I've proved that I did not have a capacity. This is very, you don't find people doing this kind of stuff. I mean, you're not in the military. You know, I don't know what I was preparing for, but now I know what I was preparing for, because I wanted to endure. And I realized that especially after having children and having to deal, we have to talk about it later because it's not for the show, but when you're sitting there looking at national renown, people wanting to pull you in and put you on a pedestal, and you say, no, I want to be a dad. I found out that I'm probably the only one that ever did that from people when I talk to seniors, you know, adults. Nobody does that. Because the dad's thinking, well, I got to keep the roof over their head, I got to do this. I'm looking at that, and I'm saying that's a lack of faith. And when you see our daughters, you won't meet them.
Right.
Oh yeah, because the oldest one has her own dance theater production company, started it at 22.
Wow.
And she's in New York. And she's a powerhouse. You know, and you will meet her. And I say that because I think it's necessary for the young people to understand that I'm not just this guy talking. There's other people out there doing it. I mean, you know, Kaylee's, you know, she's a powerful young lady. I mean, she's doing it too. I mean, you met the folks here, Carlton and Caitlin's, and you bought her eyes. And, you know, there's a lot of folks out here. It seems like this thing is moving faster than we can even think, blink, you know what I mean? So, and when we get into the how-tos of doing this, because I'm listening to your ministry here, I'm going to, okay, now we got a whole bunch of folks out there, a lot of young people want to know how do I do this? How do I do what you're doing? How do I establish that faith? How do I identify the gifts that God has given me? What's the formula?
Spend your time with them. You know, really start working. Spend time with yourself. Get to know yourself. You know, and then, you know, spend time with God and yourself. And he'll let those things be known unto you. What plan he has for your life. And he's definitely showed me that this is the plan he has for my life. It took me a minute to get to this stage, but I'm finally here, and I'm planning on doing it until the end.
Nice.
I'm going to say something that Miss Keeley's actually said to me, and it just really hit me. She said that to get the word can't out your vocabulary, don't make excuses for things, just follow your goals. And that really touched me, because we do make excuses. We hold ourselves back just because we're scared. And we need to just believe in ourselves and believe in God and just go for it.
You know, kids want to be followers, you know, and they want to focus off the things that they seen off the music videos and the money and the cars, but what good is it to gain the whole world to lose your soul? And that's just real. So it's better to follow his plan.
Well, you have a lot of evidence of that truth. I mean, here we are in what is considered the wealthiest country in the world. I mean, it's tough to look out there in this world and think you're in the richest nation on the planet. You still have poverty. You still have the highest crime rates. You still have disease. You still have all. So what's it all for?
Man, a lot of the things that you can't really speak on the things that are going on, because you gotta understand, the world has become so corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got all these diseases, but we got people want to mess with witchcraft. Then we got this, that, and the third. There's so many things going on. You know, and this is the moment that we really need to cling to God and start spending our time with Him, because you know the time is coming where He's coming back. And, you know, it's either you coming or you staying. So like, it's judgment. It's crunch time. It's time to get right. Get lost.
It's definitely judgment day. So you really gotta sit there and think, am I getting my life together before it's too late?
Right.
God is coming. There's many signs. And like my advice to everyone is, are you prepared? Are you prepared for the gate to heaven?
Well, how's the phrase goes? Choose whom you're going to serve, or something like that. We're at that point. We got to choose one way or the other. Because I'm with you 100%. I mean, it's for me personally though. I always have to use my own experience because I don't want to talk from somebody else's experience. This stage in my life, I could go this very moment, and I'm fine with it because I know I've given everything I have. I'm to glorify God, because I just told the guy yesterday, money is not my motivation. God is my motivation. And you know, you heard a little bit of my story, so I have no issues with that. You know, and knowing that and feeling the joy that I feel, that you talked about that joy, because people see the things I do and they think I'm doing amazing things, and they say I can't pay you what you're worth. And I'm like, you don't have to be concerned about that, because I'm not interested in that part of it, because you can never ever find enough money to pay for the joy I get when I create these things.
Right.
There's no money you can put, no dollar sign you can put on that. You know, and I can relate to you. I mean, an idea, a feeling comes across, and bam, it's out there. Who can buy that? Bill Gates can't give you enough money to buy that. So I applaud you in that sense. Is there enough being done by the young people to prepare? Talk about it.
As far as like so many things that we could be doing as a unit, you know, it's more time for the young people to come together as one unit. You know, we all over the place. Like we just too scattered. Like it's that time to come together. I feel as though we all come together as one, then things can start changing. Then we can make a change. Then things can finally start moving as they were supposed to move a long time ago.
Steph.
For the youth, I feel like it's never time to just stop. Every day is a process. Every day is just another step that you take. So every day you should strive to be better than what you were yesterday. So I feel like the youth needs to keep doing more and going on that straight path and keep on going. Don't look back.
Very good, very good. I am. What does I am mean to you?
A lot of it. I don't want to speak too deeply on that.
Go ahead. All right, Steph.
I am to me is the both the flaws and the talents. I am hurt. I have been scarred. But yet, I still rise. I still make it. So, I am a spiritual process. You know? That's only looking to grow. That's what I am.
I asked the question because I found that young people have taken on this responsibility to express themselves, the ones that are really getting it. And when I asked the question, they talk about that individuality, that freedom to express themselves and contribute to whatever, however that works. And then you have this other understanding or definition of I am that really comes from Scripture. You know, when Moses went to the burning bush, asked God, he said to God, the children of Israel want to know what do we call him? He says, I am that I am, right? And Moses goes back and he says, I am that sent me. I'm a memorial to all ages. Now, you know that the word I am starts with a capital I in our language. We say I am sick. It's always in an I, not capital. I attribute that to God's name. He has given us all the name I am. So when you say I am sick, broke, great,
Speaking those things into existence.
not only just speaking them into existence, but you're putting God's name to it. I think it's the second or third commandment that says, thou shalt not use my name in vain.
Yes.
And what is his name? Do we realize how powerful that is? Now, I say it because I feel that people need to understand what's coming out of their mouths when they use this phrase, I or I am. If God said that's his name, don't use it in vain. Anytime we use that phrase in a negative way, we are claiming with God power the very things that we don't want. So if you don't want to be sick, don't say I'm sick, because it's impossible for life to be sick and have a flaw because it's perfect. God's life is perfect. It's in you and you. That's the other thing that we kind of misunderstand. God's life is in you and you. No life, no body. You know, and it's God's life. But he gave you free will to claim what you want with it. And beloved, Jesus said greater things. I'm going to let you wrap it up. Talk about it. Oh yeah, I raised the bar pretty high. I know what I did.
You want to bang this?
No. You can go.
I believe, as far as I am, I believe I was made for a greater purpose. You know, I am. We are the body of Christ. You know, and I believe we were all put here for a purpose. We all made for more, you know. We are going to see his kingdom one day. We keep on following his way, you know. And we all pray that our name is, you know, when we ask our name at the gates of heaven, is my name there written in the book of life? We hope that they say yeah. So as far as that, that's all I have to say.
That's great. Steph.
And for me, he sacrificed his life for me, so I could sacrifice anything for him. He died so I could have another chance. And he's been giving me chances all my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't do anything but to submit my all to him. Yeah, because we are made for more.
Woo! Yes. Cain and Loso, Steph the Great, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be in touch, you know that, right?
Yeah. Yes.
This song coming soon.
I'm so grateful for our listeners out there. And this is Dr. Stanley out for Young American Spiritual Leaders at WGLS FM at rowan.edu. God bless you.
We are The Vision, and we are on 89.7 WGLS FM.
Please come and support us always. Peace and love.
We out. Do your thing.
We're made for more, we're made for more, we're made for more, yeah. We're made for more, we're made for more, we're made for more, yeah. We're made for more, we're made for more, we're made for more, yeah. I wasn't made to be his toy. You wasn't made to be my boy. But we're made for so much more. 'Cause I know for a fact that I'm not going back to the life that I lived before. Because we're made for more. I said we're made for more, yeah.
God said he would save me from my enemies, cover me from head to toe, including my extremities. He made me for a reason. He said it is written. He said, follow my path and then you'll just start to see it. Pressed down and shaking like a dawn blender. On my last song, I got the chance to surrender. Cain, Loso.